Hey there, friend. Welcome to today's class, Flow and Let Go. Luna's ready for her treat. Today's practice is going to be a little short. There she goes. Oh, that was slimy. Today's practice is going to be short. We're going to move a little bit and do some breath of joy and just some things to kind of loosen up the body. Summer gets so dang busy, and I don't know about you, but I personally let my good habits and routines kind of go. I either get too busy or I just get kind of too caught up in my headspace, which is what's been happening. So we're really going to focus on being in our bodies and just moving and kind of loosening some things up. I feel like sometimes as humans, we get so focused on the tasks at hand and on getting things done and being where we need to be that we start to get rigid and we kind of get too serious. Why so serious? So today's practice will be, like I said, loosey-goosey, fun, and we'll just work on some deep belly breathing. I've been chest breathing a lot. I've been noticing it, and so my back is super tense because of this. So I've really been working on opening up and slowing down and not putting too much pressure on myself in terms of I gotta get this done in the right order, and then I gotta go do this, and then I gotta get that done. But no, I can let that wait. I can set that aside, and I can let that go. I can put that down. It's not mine. So things like that is what we'll work on today. You will need a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, that's totally fine, no worries. And your mat. And we'll see you super duper soon. Okay, my friend. Thanks for being here. You can start in a comfortable seated position. We're gonna work on those belly breaths that I talked about in the intro. Also, I didn't say it. My name is Chelsea Bauer. For those of you that are just tuning in, happy to have you here. And that was Luna that went off camera the minute she got her treat. She's not really down with the whole video thing. It's totally fine. Okay. You can set up your bolster so that it's long on your mat and then come into a seated position. Take a moment to rotate your thighs out just a little bit so you can really ground down into your sit bones, taking a few moments to settle in on your mat. You can close your eyes down or soften your gaze. Maybe your hands rest in your lap, or maybe you bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, and really just start to breathe. You're like, I am breathing, duh. Intentionally breathe. When I was getting certified to teach yoga in my training, that was one of the cues I used a lot when I was we'll call it student teaching. So I would say, and breathe. And breathe. And they're like, they are breathing. And I was like, okay, I gotta cue it a little bit differently. So taking the breath deep down into the belly and really watching the full breath. Go into the belly, expand through the chest, and then exhale long and slow. Inhale into the belly. Feel the chest. Exhale. As you exhale, really allow the body to let go and to release. Continuing to breathe this way, to expand the belly in all directions as the body rises with the breath, and exhale to soften and release. Staying with the breath, I want to remind you that certain things aren't yours to keep holding on to. This is where my back problems have come from and my stress. I'm very empathetic, and a lot of people are, and I don't think they really realize it. We just kind of like shut off our emotions, and we kind of put the human part of us aside so that we can fit into this culture that we're living in. And it's very closed off. It's getting better, absolutely, but it's very closed off. So seeing if you can notice something that maybe is staying with you that doesn't need to, that isn't yours. Maybe you picked up an emotion from somebody's story, or maybe you have a loved one that's going through something and you are taking it in too much. It is totally okay to empathize, absolutely, it is necessary. But you don't have to take it with you because it'll live in your body and it'll make you hurt like me, so don't do that. So staying with your breath, and maybe just bring to mind one thing and see if you can feel it and then let it go. Remembering that it is not yours to control, it is not yours to fix. It's just there, but it's not yours to attach to and hold in your body. Take 2 more breaths, actively releasing this point of discomfort, or whatever you want to call it, this little hiccup that maybe is causing your emotions to be a little turbulent. You can open your eyes. Let's wiggle out a little bit. Do your thing. We have this move in water yoga called seaweed asana, and you like move around like a piece of seaweed, and I really like it because it's like this free flowing. It's really great, and I feel like impromptu movement is always good. We're going to take supported fish pose. A lot of times when we are locking emotions in our body, it's in our shoulders. Blame on the left side, guilt on the right side. And if you're feeling it on both, you probably have both. So you're going to take your bolster, bring it up to the small of your back, and then gently bring yourself back. And if this isn't comfortable, just kick it in corpse pose. That's quite all right. Or maybe you take a supported bridge, so you're still in a little bit of a back arch. And you can rest your hands on either side of you. Maybe you bring them to your ribs. I'm taking mine to my ribs because my ribs have been, my ribs hurt. Everything hurts. It's fine. Coming into those breaths again that expand the belly and letting your shoulders soften. Maybe you stay fully present with the breath. So that's all you're doing, that's all your job is. Or maybe you come back to those things that you can release. And we'll do a little bit of a, I don't want to call it an exercise because it's super simple, but exercise to drop things that my grandmother used to tell my dad. It's very helpful. So let's take 3 more full expanding breaths here. Feel the chest expand, feel the belly expand, before we start moving along. You very carefully come up, move your bolster off to the side. And then let's come to a seated position and take the legs, nice and wide for a straddle. We had 3 back-to-back softball games last night, so if I make old man noises, I apologize. Oh, yep, there they are now. All right, so coming forward into your straddle, feel into the parts of you that are really stretching out, because those are the parts that probably need a little bit more love. Heels are grounded down, spine is neutral, bend from your hips. We're going to take 1 more breath here. Carefully come up back to your neutral position. Drop the hands behind the hips. Maybe you keep the legs wide. Maybe you bring them together for butterfly legs. I think that's what I'm gonna do, so feel free to do it along with me. You can stay in straddle though, totally fine. And then you're just gonna inhale to lift the heart, drop the head back just a little bit or maybe a lot. Being careful, being mindful, pressing through the sit bones and the palms. You can come back to neutral. Bring the legs off to the side so that you land in tabletop. Take a little bit of time to stack the joints and wiggle into the best position for your body. Inhale for cow. Oh, those ribs. Exhale for cat. So moving along, maybe you speed it up. Maybe you're like, I just really want to move to get this stuff out of my body that I don't want in there. Or maybe you need to take it slow. We often compare ourselves to others, even like I do it when I watch workout videos. And I'm like, I don't look like that, or I'm not doing it right. That's not how yoga works. And comparisons are a fool's errand, in my opinion. Sometimes they're important, I will acknowledge that, but most of the time, you are your own individual. So you can't really compare because there's nobody else like you, which is beautiful. You can take 1 more round. Drop back down to your tabletop. Okay, so now we're gonna start moving. I mean, we were moving, but inhale to reach up. Exhale to thread down. Let's take 2 more this way. And your reach is probably gonna be bigger than mine. Ugh. My upper back has been locked up since the 4th of July. It is totally getting better. I didn't take care of it for the first week and a half, so that's on me. Inhale to come back up, and now we'll take her to the other side. Breathe in, stretch the left hand up. Exhale, thread under the right one. 2 more swoopies. And the reason my back locked up, in case you're curious, was holding lots of emotions. June was stressful, and I overdid it with my schedule. You can come back up to tabletop. So I was really rigid on the 4th of July and stretched my hands up over my head, and it just didn't feel very good after that. So I've been really taking stock of how I react to things. Can't always control it, but sometimes you can. Let's press up into down dog. Check in with the foundation. Pedal the heels a little bit. 2 breaths here. Inhale to hopper step feet to hands. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down to fold. Breathe up, extended mountain. Drop back down to fold. Halfway lift. Really allow yourself to move with the breath and be down in the body. Any emotions that come up, go down to your forward fold. Let them come up. Step back to high plank. Drop your knees if you need to, or you can take a full chaturanga all the way down. Breathe in for cobra or up dog if you want to go a little farther. Exhale, drop back down. And move back to your down dog. 2 breaths here. You're going to inhale to take the right leg high. Exhale to step in between the hands. Pivot the back heel down. And then bring your arms up for your triangle stance. There we go. I'm going to open for you. Deep breath in, exhale, drop down. Right hand, right leg. Left hand's in the sky for your triangle. Letting this left side do what it does. Sometimes I cue to spiral your ribs up to the sky. Just let it go where it's gonna go, because your hips and your ribs kind of take the shape they need to, especially in these yoga poses. 1 more breath here. And now inhale, coming up, exhale, drop the left hand to the left leg, and the right arm's gonna come up for your reverse triangle. There's a dog hair on my face. No big deal. I could edit that out. Yeah, why bother? Sometimes imperfections are a good thing to show, depending on the imperfection. 1 more breath here. Reach towards the sky. Reach for those good positive vibes. Come back to center. Circle your arms around. Pick up the left heel, step to high plank. Come back to your down dog. And then we'll head back to high plank. Exhale, down you go. Inhale for a cobra. And exhale to lower down. Anytime you want to skip the up dog or anything like that, or the cobra, and just stay in down dog, you sure can. And if you need to take child's pose at any time, go for it. As you inhale, step or hop feet to hands, forward fold. Halfway lift. And drop down to fold. Reach to extended mountain. And bring the hands down to heart center. We're going to move through knocking on heaven's door, because it's just a good flowy, fun thing to do. So hands into fists, or maybe you keep them open. Either or is totally fine. Deep bend in the knees, and then just start to sway back and forth. Your twist is probably going to be a little bit deeper than mine. The movement that my back doesn't like right now is twisting. But it feels pretty good today, considering all the activity in the game last night. So I'm pretty happy about it, to be honest. So maybe you let your arms really flap. Maybe you end up smacking your booty a little bit. But taking this time to flail, we want to control things so much, and it's really hard to surrender. And so this is helpful to just kind of let things go, let it be. Because if you really stop to think about it, a lot of things in your life that you're holding, that you're trying to control or figure out or solve, it's not for you to do. And I know that's probably gonna land hard for some of you, but that's kind of how it is sometimes. And I did learn that the hard way. So speaking this out of love, absolutely. You can start to slow it down, maybe come back, and then dropping into a quick mountain pose, palms forward. Just take a moment to root down evenly through the four corners of your feet. You can keep your eyes open, you can close them down too. Big breaths here. Side out the mouth. We move energy through sound. Okay, so this really simple activity, my grandma used to tell my dad all the time, because my dad is very type A like me and really clings to shit. So my grandmother used to tell him, just let it go. And she would hold her hand out like this and she would let it go. Let it go. So I want you to envision the things that you don't need to hold anymore, the things that are out of your control. Maybe it's, like I said in the intro, maybe a loved one is having troubles, or somebody's being pissy at work, or you read a story on the internet that's like messing with your heart space. Start to gather all that in, gather. You can close your eyes or keep them open. Really visualize this. Gather it all up, grab onto it, out to either side. Deep breath in, thinking about all these things, how they make you feel, and then let it go. One more time, grip it in. Let it go. Whew, that does feel better. Sometimes it's not yours. It's not yours to take with you. You can be a sounding board, but at the end of that sounding board session, drop it. And maybe you visualize putting bumpers up or walls or boundaries before you go into a tricky situation or a tricky conversation. That's what I've been doing lately, and it does help when you're intentionally not trying to bring things in. When you know you kind of have to keep yourself safe. All right. Inhale, let's go up, extended mountain. We're gonna keep on moving. Exhale, down, forward fold, bring it up, halfway lift. Drop down, fold. Oh, step to high plank or hop. Exhale, down to the belly. Inhale for your cobra or your up dog. Up dog, you're kind of up on the shoelace sides of your feet and you pick up your thighs. We're gonna come back to our down dog. Pedal, 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 pedal. Maybe you shake a. Okay, swing that left leg high on the in-breath. Exhale, step in between the hands. Oh, that's a big step. Drop the right heel down, and then we'll cartwheel the arms up for our triangle pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, left hand to left leg, right arms in the sky. And holding here, a couple breaths. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, drop the right hand to the right leg. Left arm's in the sky. Left leg stays straight for your reverse triangle. Really pressing into the outside of the right foot. And circle the arms back around. Pick up the right heel. Step the left foot back to high plank. Let's head back to our down dog. Deep breath in, and then hop or step, feet to hands, forward fold. Halfway lift. Down you go to fold. Reach to extended mountain. Drop fold. Half lift. Forward fold. Step or hop to high plank. Chaturanga all the way down to the belly. Inhale for your cobra or your up dog. Exhale to float down. We're gonna move to child's pose. Just for a little bit. So take your child's pose, sink down, and come back into those belly breaths if you lost them along the way, holding your child's pose. 3 deep, intentional, present breaths. Inhale to come up to tabletop, and then we're gonna do some barrel rolls. So rolling through, mine are gonna be a little bit smaller than normal. But just moving that body around, loosening, flow and let go. Easier said than done sometimes. I completely understand. It's hard to drop certain things. It just truly is. Get to the top, switch, go the other way. But it's not always for us to control others' emotions or to be responsible for them. This is a big thing that I've been taking away lately. I follow a lot of self-help psychology stuff on social media, and that's been a big one that's been popping up is it's not your responsibility to make somebody feel better, especially like if you weren't the one that made them feel bad in the first place. Like sometimes people just have a hard time, and it's not up to you to change that for them all the time. I mean, you can brighten their day and things like that, but in terms of fixing, it's not necessarily our job for others. Let's step to high plank, shoot to down dog, and then inhale, hopper step with hands, forward fold. Halfway lift, down fold, reach to extended mountain, hands come to heart center. We're gonna take that breath of joy, lovely, lovely breath of joy. So how it works, if you've done this before, you can totally start or skip the breakdown of this. It's a sipping through your nose. So I'll say sip, but it's like this. So that's the breath, 3 sniffs, 3 sips through the nose, and the arms come out, or we'll go forward, out, and up, and then you go ha. So forward, out, up, ha. And the sip through the nose is with the arms. Ha. Ha. Follow along when you're ready. Ha. Speed it up if you need to. Slow it down if you need to. Ha. Really make noise. Nobody's listening. Well, maybe somebody is. Ha! 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 Last one. Ha! Come back up. Mountain pose it. Close your eyes. Maybe you have them open, but soften the gaze. Steady the breath. Steady the body. Really hone in and watch how you're feeling. It's important to notice which exercises, which asanas, which breath work really makes us feel better. What calls to you? Because what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. Like, we're all unique, so unique. So maybe breath of joy, you're like, I don't like that. You don't have to do it again, it's totally cool, but you tried, it's all that matters. Let's inhale, extend it. Exhale to fold. Halfway lift. Take your fold, step or hop to high plank. Chattering it down to the belly. Inhale for your cobra or your up dog. Exhale to shoot back down. And then we're gonna push up to tabletop. Swoop the legs back behind. And we'll land on our backs. So take a moment and get in position, line everything up, and then we will inhale for bridge. Oh, this is the one I was a little worried about. Tight quads, too much running. Ground down into those shoulder blades, neutral neck, 2 more breaths. Exhale, flow down vertebrae by vertebrae. Once the hips ground, let's take the take the legs wide for happy baby. Okay, yes. Sorry about that very loud noise. I'm gonna peace finger my big toes. I need a little more length today. Rock your baby, do your thing. Winding down, like I said, quick practice today, but sometimes that's what you need, is just something to move the body and get out of the mind for a few minutes. Come back to center, exhale, drop the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side a few more times, self-massage. It's very important. as I am continuing to learn. Come back to stillness, back to center. Knees come together, flex the feet. Maybe you pull the knees towards you just a little bit more, wind relieving pose. Feel the small of your back really press into the mat, tails tucked. Breathe into the belly. And now as you inhale, there we go. Inhale, come up, lift head and shoulders, curling up into a tight little ball. My knees aren't compressed because I've been having some knee problems, but you can compress your knees a little bit further. I'm gonna pull like this. So yeah, if you have some tricky knees, you can like lessen the deep bend in the knee joint. This is a kidney rinse pose, so you should feel pressure where your kidneys live. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower the head and shoulders and slowly, mindfully drop the legs. Settling into your corpse pose. For 5 breaths, you are more than welcome to stay here longer than that. After your last breath, wiggle out toes and fingers. Gently roll off to the side. Fetal position either side. 1 breath here. Breathe out what needs to come out. Press up to seated. Hands come to heart. Remembering it's okay to drop things that aren't yours. It's okay to let go of things you can't control. Sometimes surrendering is all we can do, and we can find great peace in surrendering to the present. Thank you for being here with all the love and so much light. Namaste.